It was nearing the end of winter break when Caleb, a dainty and efficient boy, gets a call from the group chat in the morning. He frantically asks the other members of the group chat if they also received a call notification. They say no. Caleb asks Omar, who happened to be active at the time, if he also received a call notification. Omar, along with the other members, say no again. Caleb begins to ponder if it was Austin, who is notorious for accidentally calling the group chat, to the other members' dismay. Caleb jokes that the caller was named the evil Instagram caller man. Another friend, inactive until now, Alonzo, claims that Caleb is lying, and Braden jokes that Caleb might be schizophrenic. The banter continues. "Nobody got a call, nigga, you tripping," Alonzo proclaimed. Caleb, witty as always, retaliates, saying that Alonzo doesn't get calls from any hoes. Later that day, while Alonzo is working at HEB as a meat cutter, he gets several call notifications on his cell phone. Like a good subordinate, he waits until his break to check his phone. Alonzo's break comes around, and to nobody's surprise, his phone was drier than a mug. No notifications. But how, Alonzo thought. His phone kept going off and off, every vibration sending him further into insanity. It was the day after New Year's. Running off of very little sleep, the monotonous nature of his job has been detrimental to his sanity. The hard liquor and McDonald's was taking its toll. "I still have 4 hours left of work," he thought to himself. His break, a fleeting time of peace and quiet, soon came to an end, and it was time to go back to work. Something was different. Alonzo felt paranoid and his hands were shaking. He was 1 hour away from freedom, but that was one more hour he had to endure in this hellhole. His usually precise cuts were all mangled and bad. His co-workers started to notice, but didn't say anything. And that's when Alonzo got his knife and starts chopping the meat violently. He cut his hand and started to cry blood. His co-worker saw the injury and got a first aid kit. Everyone thought it was an accident. Alonzo was sent home. He decided to relax by watching TV. He went to Televisa, his favorite channel. He fell asleep on the edge of his bed. He was awoken by loud buzzing, like that of a cell phone receiving a call. He wakes up in his pitch-black room. The buzzing only gets louder and louder, overtaking all of his senses. He looks at the only light in the room, his dim 50-inch TV, which he takes great pride in. Maria de Toto's Los Angeles is on the TV, but the actors are just looking at Alonzo dead on. The buzzing stops, then Albertino walks up to the screen, with a straight face and just stares. This shook Alonzo to his core. He scrambled for the TV remote, and tried to turn the TV off. But it didn't work. He repeatedly pressed the off button and nothing happened. He looks at the TV and Albertino is still staring. He then opens his mouth, and everything in the room starts to shake. He emits a sudden loud buzzing from his mouth. It sounds like a phone ring. Thousands of metal cans and glass breaking all around him. This sound is much louder than possible for a TV, and it comes from all around the room. Albertino's eyes turn red like tomatoes, and start gushing blood. Then Alonzo's injectory starts gushing blood. Albertino morphs into a black man with nappy hair and one singular dread. All the sounds stop. He whispers, "I am the evil Instagram caller man." As soon as he says this, the loud chaotic sounds come back. All the His family found him dead on his bed with no external injuries, with his eyes wide open and bloodshot. The autopsy revealed his brain had shrunk by 75%, and his foreskin inflated by 238%. His anal cavity was stretched and torn, as if he was brutally raped with a wooden stool. His bladder was full of blood that was red like a tomato. A week has passed since Alonzo's demise. Everyone was sad, but Braden seemed the most affected by Alonzo's passing. The break ended and school began. The first week went by fast, the second week, not so much. Braden couldn't get Alonzo's smile, or his tender comforting voice out of his head. His grades started slipping, as Alonzo is all he could think about. Being stressed with school and his other responsibilities, he treasured weekends, as these were some of the only breaks he had from his monotonous routine. He had a 2006 Ford Mustang GT Premium in Vista Blue, which was his pride and joy. He enjoyed driving this Vista Blue 2006 Ford Mustang GT Premium, whether it was to run errands, or just for fun. It was the first Saturday of January and Braden decided to take his Vista Blue 2006 Ford Mustang GT Premium for a little ride. He was getting ready to go outside when he got a call from Instagram. Braden picked up his phone but the call stopped as soon as he picked it up. Anywho, he thought to himself. Braden walked outside to his driveway. To his horror, the Vista Blue 2006 Ford Mustang GT Premium was not Vista Blue. It was red. Like blood, that is as red as a tomato. He ran to his father and asked him if he traded the Vista Blue 2006 Ford Mustang GT Premium for another 2006 Ford Mustang GT Premium but red, like blood, that is as red as a tomato. His dad said no. And walked outside and said the car was blue. This made Braden lose his sanity and he got on his hands and knees and he started to scrape his forehead on the pavement and there was a lot of red blood. It covered the whole house. His dad called an ambulance and they took Braden to the hospital. Someone started to call him on his cell phone. He picked up his phone and the call ended before he could see who called him. There was nothing in his call log or notifications. When he arrived to the hospital, he saw a black guy with nappy hair and one dread. This scared Braden and he ran away while yelling, "I'm losing my sanity." He slipped on his blood and died. The autopsy revealed his brain had shrunk by 75%, and his prostate inflated by 428%, and his bladder was full of blood that was red like a tomato. The hospital staff that witnessed the incident lost their sanity and killed themselves in a Walmart. Their autopsies revealed that there was an Instagram logo carved into their abdomens and their brains shrank by 75% and their bladders were empty and full of cobwebs and ants. Caleb noticed that the only people that died got were the people that made fun of the entity that was calling him. This meant he was next. He drove away from Baytown and lost his sanity and died because he didn't stop to poop in a toilet and release all of his excrement in his butt. Now the people in the group chat were not only sad because of the loss of their dear friends, they were scared to meet the same fate. So they all lost their sanity and they all killed themselves at Dollar Tree and there was blood everywhere and it was all over the place and red like a tomato. How do I know all of this? I am the evil Instagram caller.